going to get us going. We'll go to Luke afterwards.
Eddie, you've had some emotionally charged games in charge of Newcastle and Everest ones as well. I guess that one was right up there.
Yeah, it was. I mean, from an emotional level, that was a massive win for us. We knew it. Everyone knew it internally. I think we've been building towards that for a few weeks. I think the training has been really strong. It's been really committed. It's been very competitive. And I'm a big believer that you always end up getting your rewards for that if your work continues to be strong. And credit to the players for sticking together, staying united. Behind the scenes, they've been excellent. And at times we rode a little bit of luck today, but I think we've more than deserved that in the recent weeks.
How did you feel when that Harvey goal went in at the end?
Yeah, one of those rare moments when you know the game's over, before the game's over, if that makes sense. Great finish from Harvey because he still had a bit to do. We became more of a threat in that last counter threat in that last 10-15 minutes. I was hoping we could seal the game and be more relaxing for our supporters, but we tend to keep everyone on edge, and that was just a great moment of relief really for everyone, I think.
We've just seen the chairman out saying having a little bit of a kick about it looked like he was having a pep talk with Anthony Alanga at one stage. I wondered if he'd spoken to you since the game finished.
Not a couple of words individually, but mainly with the group. He spoke with the players after the game and spoke really well about his plans for the future and how committed he and everyone is to the football club, long-term growth and exciting times ahead. So that was great to see. They've been very supportive, and it was great to see everyone together, united in the dressing room.
Thank you. Luke?
I presume you'd have quite liked that to have been easier. There was quite a lot of anxiety, a lot of tension in the stadium, and then obviously Brighton scored the goal. You must have been hard to watch, because I think it was quite hard to watch in the stand.
As much as I would like it to be easier, I think the reality is that was always going to be a tough win for us today, because Brighton play a style that's probably very difficult for us to play against at the moment. They're fluid, they want possession of the ball, and then the temptation is to stretch yourself and leave gaps. And we did that for a period of time. I think at the beginning of the second half, the majority of the game, I thought we defended really well as a team. So as much as I'd love to say, yeah, we'd want it more comfortable, I think you've got to be realistic. When you haven't won for so long, that first win is probably going to be tight. But in some senses, I think the tightness of the win does us more good than harm, because I think we're in a position where we're 2-0 up. We go 2-1, and the biggest test that we'll have is with the leads that we've chucked away this season in that moment. And we came through it. So actually, I think there's a lot of growth in that, and hopefully that will serve us well in the next few weeks.
You went back to some old warriors, for want of a better word today. Dan Burn, Nick Pope made some really, really big saves for you. Jacob Murphy as well has had a difficult season. What was your thinking behind going back to those experienced players? Is it because they can cope with the pressure?
It'll be a mix of things, Luke. Yeah, I mean, you're not wrong in your assessment. I went with players that I can really trust, that I know can handle this kind of atmosphere and this kind of pressure. But I'm not picking the team based on emotion. I'm picking the team based on what I think gives us the best chance of winning the game. And those players have never let me down, and they didn't today. I thought they were all outstanding in different ways. The balance of the team, of course, is important, because you need different qualities to hurt an opponent. We went with real pace up front. That was the plan, with Osula and Willock, to really try and stretch them, especially on transitions, and I thought that worked well. And also having a strong bench. I mean, great to have such great tools to use to be able to bring Lewis Hall on and change system, and a moment where we needed it, I thought was really important too.
Thank you. We've got Chris, Scott and Lee, please.
And it's the first time since you beat Palace in January that you've won a game by 2 clear goals. I mean, obviously in the second half it was nervy, but you got the 2 goals in the first half. How important was that? Because obviously 1-0 leads have been tricky.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I think that the second goal was a big moment in the game. Now we knew the game wasn't over, far from it, but we haven't done that enough, and we've had opportunities to. We just haven't been clinical. Today, Will obviously takes his header well, Dan takes the corner well, and that was another big part of talking about team selection, getting more height in the team, becoming better from set plays at both ends. That's something we haven't been good in this run. So I know people will look at the team and make their assessments on it. We have to try and take a balanced look, and all these things like height in the back line, height from set plays play a big part in results. So I was pleased when Dan scored that header.
I think it's 3 goals in his last 4 Premier League starts for Will Osula. He really seems to have stepped up in the last few weeks.
Yeah, I think he's maturing nicely. I think difficult to come in, and a lot of pressure, a lot of other players waiting for an opportunity. So he knows he has to perform. took his goal really well against Crystal Palace, followed that up well against Bournemouth, and then today he'd probably back himself to score there, but he's still got to be in the right position. But more than that, I thought for 60 minutes his running ability, his power, his pace caused them real problems.
Thank you. Scott?
It's also, I think, the first time since mid-January that you were able to name Bruno, Joelinton and Sandro in the same starting lineup. I mean, especially in the second half when it was getting, tight, it felt really significant that the three of them were there. You were able to call on them and they were able to kind of do what they're capable of doing.
Yeah, I didn't know it was that long, to be honest, but it doesn't surprise me in a way. The last 2 games we've missed Joey, and the end of the game you go, we missed his presence, his power, his athleticism, his dual winning ability. He's such a big player. And then you add the qualities of course of Bruno, who've been missing for a long period of time. You see today the responsibility he takes, the demanding of the ball, the tactical flexibility he gives us, and his will to win. And of course Sandro's got that running power and his recovery runs. There's a few big challenges from Sandro today in difficult situations for us. They really are top players, and having them all available at the same time is obviously something we've missed.
And does it feel like, there's been a lot of talk about what might or might not happen in the summer in terms of changes, how much change is needed and everything, but is it important not to go too far away and not forget the quality of the core that's here, and actually there's some big players at this football club that you will desperately want to keep and be part of whatever you're doing moving forward?
Yeah, I'm not a big believer in big change at one time, because I think that, don't get me wrong, sometimes you might need that, and it's not to say that that's not possible, and it's not possible to be successful with that. But I think the best way to stay fluid is to make minimal changes but really strong changes, and continue to tweak as you go. I always say every transfer window, really the club should be looking to try and improve the squad in some way. I think it's really important that you don't throw away the experienced players that can add real value in lots of different ways, but you also need youth as well. So it really is a balance, and you need to get that balance right. Too big a shift one way or the other can sometimes be negative. And we had a big turnover of players in the summer. Of course, we lost Alex, but we had a big turnover of incoming players. And you see, with no training, trying to fit them into the system that we play has been challenging. And now we're beginning to train again. I think you can see the team's performing a little bit better.
Thank you. Lee?
Eddie, it's obviously been an emotionally charged week with the drama of the chairman coming in, being in a country house.
Is that for you, Lee, or?
Well, it's always emotionally charged for me.
Okay, good.
But with all that drama around, have you had to say to any of the players, it's fine, let's just focus on the game? How do you go about your business when you're sort of being dragged off for meetings and things like that?
Dragged off. I certainly wasn't dragged. No, I've said before, I think those meetings, obviously for you guys, will be big news. For us, that's something we do every year. Of course, this year was maybe not as easy as the previous years for us, and understandably so. But they're just part of our routine. From the players' side now, I don't involve the players in that. They have enough to think about in their own performances, their own level of training. They got a lot of tactical information to take in. The last thing they need to do is worry about me. So that's totally separate. All I ask is that when they go on the pitch, they try and give their all for the football club. And today they did to a man. I was really proud of the team.
And that spell, when Brighton pulled one back, do you get more satisfaction from sort of weathering that storm? Because they are an excellent team, there's no getting away from that. But you've got through it, you've got the win, and now you move on.
Yeah, I do. And that's why I say earlier, I think it's more positive for us that actually happened than negative, because we were faced with a really tough situation and we came through it, and we haven't done that enough this season. So that should give us confidence again when that happens, which it will, that we're good enough to see it out. And just think of the points we've lost, just think where we could be. And I agree, Brighton are a very good team, but so are we, and we can't forget that.
We'll go to Craig, Daniel and to Jordan, please. Craig?
Hi, how brave have you got to be as a manager to pick a team which, when it dropped an hour and a quarter before kick-off, there was a lot of debate around it. You picked your team to win that game when you've had to probably ignore some of the noise on the outside you'd be aware of, some of those you didn't include. Just take us inside the thinking in terms of picking that team.
Yeah, I think it's a good question. I mean, of course, with the team selection, it's never... You're never 100% sure on on the team. You go into the week, so I'm very open. We've played Arsenal, we've performed well. I'm very open. I go into the week and I go, right, let's see how the players train. For me, training is a huge consequence to the team that I pick, because I have to reward good performances, good attitude, commitment during the week. I can't just base it off perception. I then need to see it delivered, and that's where, obviously, from a supporter's perspective, they don't get to see that. They're not party to those training sessions, and I place a big emphasis on that. So, of course, last performance training, I then make my decision, and I'll make my decision on different days, sometimes Thursday, Friday. But once I pick the team, I'm totally happy with it, and win, lose or draw, I accept my fate, because I've picked it in good honesty, with the intention to win the game. There's no politics involved with me. It's what gives us, in my opinion, the best chance to win the game, and then, of course, I'll let the players know.
Okay, a few to get through, guys, so if we can go to single questions, start with Daniel, please.
Eddie, just on Will Osula again, he showed some early promise when he drifted out right-hand side, and obviously he played through the middle today, but can you just talk about his development of late, and also would you like to keep him at this football club going into next season?
Yeah, definitely like to keep him. I think Will's a player of really rich promise, and he was when we signed him, and we signed him with the view of developing him to try and build him to become a Premier League player, because that certainly wasn't the player that we recruited. There was a lot of work and time that's gone into his development. Graham Jones, Jason Tyndall have done an incredible job helping his development, analysing his game, feeding back to him, and Will's done really well to stay stable, level, and commit to that development and see the longer term plan. Great to see then when he comes into the team and gets an opportunity that he grabs it. He's very hungry, he's very motivated, he believes in himself. I think he's got a really bright future.
Thank you. Jordan, Charlie and Martin, please.
When the owners are in town, does it give yourself and the players a bit?
Yeah, I think it does. I think that unity that you have from a football club, from top to bottom, as strong as that can be, the better the football club will be, in my opinion. Now, they don't have to be here every day to run a football club. They have people here that do that job for them, but they are very committed. They are very hands-on, and they've got, I've said on Friday, big ambitious plans for the football club. That's never changed. They've never deviated from that. And I think they care about the football club and they care about the players. And so, but when they come, it is nice. It's different. It feels like we're really together.
Charlie?
Eddie, just looking at the league table there, 5 points off the European places. Is that still the aim for your side? And do you believe European qualification is possible this season?
Yeah, I've not seen the league table, so you'll understand today was all about the win, and the win was much needed. We want to try and win the last 3 games, and we'll see where it takes us.
Okay, Martin?
I was going to ask something similar, so can you just describe maybe the relief that you feel right now?
Yeah, I think that's always the same, Martin. When you don't win football matches, there's a pressure that builds. Now, how everyone experiences that is different. For me, I want to do a good job for people. I don't want to disappoint people. I don't want to let the supporters down. I don't want to let the players down. Certainly don't want to let the owners down. So all those things you're carrying with yourself if you're not delivering enough success. So I'm just really pleased that for all those people that I mentioned, we were able to win the game today. And now the process starts again for next week.
Thanks, Martin. We've got a Gary, Mark and finish with Kieran, please.
Just following on from that, Eddie, we know talked the last couple of weeks of being fired. Do you think you'll allow yourself, will you get 8 hours sleep tonight before focusing on Forest?
Well, it's funny because I didn't get 8 hours sleep last night. I'll level with you. There was a moment where I woke up and I thought, oh dear, what day is it? Which is really unusual for me. I'm a very, very good sleeper, but there was obviously an anxiety for me last night where I'm going into today's game, just wanting the team to perform. I'm sure I'll sleep well tonight. Certainly with the emotions of that game, I've got no doubt that I will. But your outlook on things changes. As much as you try to stay very level, things just look a bit brighter with winning. So hopefully we can enjoy next week.
Cheers, Gary. Mark?
Just a question about the crowd that sang your name a few times, in particular in the second half. It's the whole stadium singing your name. That must be huge for you given the run of results. And that's
Yeah, it is massive. It is massive, and I can't thank everyone that sang my name, and even those that didn't, I can't thank them enough, because we've not done well enough in recent weeks. We're the first to hold our hands up and say that. But for the crowd to still believe in us, stay loyal to us, says more about them than anything else, I think. And I've always said that we are trying, we're committed. There's no part of us that's not trying to do everything we can to turn it round. I hope they see that, and I'm just delighted for everybody today.
Thank you. Last one, Kieran, please.
Just mentioned there about the anxiety you've never really felt that before as Newcastle manager then, or could you just talk us through what you've been feeling these last few days?
Oh no, it's been there before. Don't worry about that. Yeah. It's but even when you're winning, that anxiety, can exist because you want to do a good job. I'm desperate to succeed. I'm desperate to win games. So it lives. I think when you're in management, it lives in every run that you're on. Obviously, the feelings of a losing run are slightly different to the pressures that you face when you're winning, but it's always there, and managing that is part of a manager's job.
Thanks, everyone. Cheers.
Thank you. Thanks a lot. Thank you.